Hello and welcome. I'm Kriti Mehta and you're watching the World of Sports on NewsX World. Let's take a look at the top headlines on this bulletin. South Africa men's cricket team triumphed in the second T20 international of the 5-match bilateral series against India. Quinton de Kock took home the player of the match after his 90-run blitz. Amid heavy criticism for lackluster performances this season, Liverpool and Egypt star Mohamed Salah has sparked intense speculation after saying that the Premier League game against Brighton and Hove Albion could be his very last for the Merseyside club. Defending champion Levon Aronian won his second consecutive freestyle chess Grand Slam South Africa title. The 43-year-old American snagged the $200,000 prize spot after defeating world number 1 Magnus Carlsen of Norway 1.5 to 0.5. Luke Litter began the defense of his PDC World Championship title with a straight-set victory over Darius Labanuska of Lithuania. Meanwhile, 2023 World Champion Michael Smith beat Women's World Match Play winner Lisa Ashton 3-0. National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman says the incomplete Olympic hockey rink is disappointing with the Winter Games fast approaching. This has fueled speculation about the possibility of no NHL players taking part in the second consecutive Winter Games. And let's start with the first story on the world of sports. South Africa saw off India in the second T20 international between the two sides. South Africa posted a mammoth total of 213 for 4, powered by wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock's blazing 90 of just 45 deliveries. Emil Bartman was the pick of the South African bowlers, cleaning up the lower order with 4 wickets. The series is now tied 1-1 with 3 more matches to go in the South Africa's tour of India. The action will now move to Dharamshala's HPCA Stadium, where India will look to bounce back from their loss. And now joining me on this discussion is Mohammed Algari, who is a sports journalist, Alcas Sports Channel from New York. Thank you for joining us. I'll start by asking my first question to you, Mohammed. Quinton de Kock played a blistering knock with 7 sixes and 5 fours after departing for a duck in the first game. Do you think South Africa's batting depends too heavily on the wicket-keeper's batsmen?
I think they not too strong, this too much, but they working together, they playing together because this can do it the good men.
All right, and for India, they were not able to get into any sort of rhythm during the game itself. Is this down to South Africa's bowling or Team India's overconfidence after the blowout win in the first match?
Now, are you good? Can you repeat again, please?
Do you think it was because of India's overconfidence in the previous match, or was it due to the rules that were playing out?
Samsung, I don't hear you good.
All right, Mohammed, if you can hear me now, I'm just trying to ask you, India was not in the best of its form or rhythm during this game. What do you think was this primarily due to? Was it the blowout win in the last game that gave India its overconfidence, or was it because of South Africa's strong bowling side?
No, I think if you let me answer this question, this is Taus here. If you allow me to answer on this particular cricket question.
Taus in the discussion here. Taus, I'd like to let you go on.
Yeah, India was terrible last night against South Africa. South Africa was too good playing in Chandigarh, the new Chandigarh stadium in Mullanpur. The way they batted initially, it was always a difficult chase. 213 is always going to be difficult, but credit to the South African bowlers, the way they bowl on stumps, on line with and with good help from the conditions as well as the wicket. I mean, it's very cold out there. The conditions were moving. The wicket keepers and the edges were going to the slips and the wicket keeper. So somewhere or the other, Marke Jansen and Ingidi were superb last night. And I mean, Abhishek Sharma started well, but then again he edged it to the wicket keeper. But it was only Tilak Moharma's saving grace
Yeah,
that
yeah.
helped India reach a respectable total. Otherwise, 213 was always difficult, and to above 200, it's very rare that team has been able to chase that score, and India has not done it much. So yeah, it was always difficult, and South Africa's bowling came on top, and they were deserving winners. And now the series has leveled 1-1. So yeah, definitely South Africa played well last night.
And talking of Tilak Verma, he looked likely to hold the line for Team India, but nobody other than him was able to get into any sort of a position to score big. What's the change that's now required for India to bounce back?
I don't think so. Team India would go with any major changes. Yeah, Shubman Gill's form is a concern. Suryakumar Yadav's form is a concern. Captain, considering he's the captain and he's going to be the captain in 2026 World Cup. But again, see, they lost only this game. They have been fantastic throughout since T20 World Cup in 2024, followed by Asia Cup and other T20 matches and series. Yeah, this was just one of. I wouldn't come to conclusion. There won't be any major changes. Just that they have to regroup and get back into form, and they are still a good side. The only concerns are with those individual forms from Shubman Gill and Surya Kumar Yadav. Rest all is fine because I mean we bowled well in the first T20, but failed in the second. So just the matter, just that we need to regroup and get back into groove and get another win, and we are 2-1 up.
All right. Thank you, Tos, for giving that to us, and also thank Mohammed for joining us in this discussion. With that, viewers, we're now going to move on. Lando Norris has fulfilled his lifelong dream, viewers, of being crowned the Formula One World Champion on Sunday after finishing third at the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The Briton simply needed a podium finish after entering the final race of the season with a 12-point lead over Max Verstappen, who was the defending champion this year and had won the last 4 consecutive seasons. And despite the late season drama, the 26-year-old staved off a spirited late push by Verstappen to beat the Dutchman by just 2 points, becoming the first McLaren driver since 2008 to win the F1 Drivers' title. The Woking-based British team had won its first Constructors' title of the millennium last year and completed the double this season thanks to Norris's triumph. Defending champion Max Verstappen finished second, with Norris's McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri finishing third in the Drivers' Championship. And for this discussion, I'd now like to welcome Charanjot Singh Kohli, who's a senior F1 writer from Sportskira. Joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you, Charanjot, for joining us here at NewsX Worlds. Well, it's going to be an interesting discussion that I'm looking forward. Your key takeaways from the exciting season of F1 action.
Yeah, I think the first thing that actually comes to mind is unpredictability, because 2025 F1 season, if you look at it at various stages, you could have easily called it an Oscar Piastri season, probably halfway at the halfway mark. Then we had Lando Norris suffering a DNF because of a power unit failure after Zandvoort. At that very moment, Oscar Piastri had around a 35-point lead over Lando. It seemed that the championship was done and dusted, because even when it comes to the form and the number of mistakes either of the two McLaren drivers were making, Oscar seemed to have the handle of his teammate. But then things changed around, and probably a season which, in many ways, the narrative that would be written is how brilliant Red Bull's turnaround was from where they were at the midway point of the season, and also how Lando Norris, a driver who, in the eyes of many, has struggled when it comes to the mental challenges of Formula One, but still being able to overcome all of that and will basically, as you said, fulfill his lifelong dream. So, yeah.
And can you explain a little bit about the rule changes that will be taking place the next year, and how will these changes impact the competition going on?
So the rule changes, essentially they are going to be divided into probably three aspects. The first is the power unit. So currently what we have is we have a V6 turbo hybrid engines. That's what we have, which all the teams are currently running. They are producing 80%. The 80% of the power produced by these engines is through internal combustion engine, and the 20% is hybrid. For the 2026 regulations, the new ones, we are going to move to a 50-50 split. So it's going to be 50% internal combustion and 50% hybrid. Now, at least, I mean, that's what the regulations say. There are still suggestions that it might turn out to be 55% internal combustion, 45% electrical, depending on the technology and how much maturity it reaches. That's one area. The other area is the fuel. Currently, Formula One is running E20 fuel. Next season, we'll be moving to sustainable fuel. That's one side of things. Then you move to the cars. So currently, the Formula One cars, they've gotten a bit bulkier, a bit heavier, a bit larger in size. We are going to reduce them. They're going to be slightly narrower next season. They're also going to see around a 30 kg reduction in minimum weight. So that's going to be there. Then there's the aerodynamic side of it, where we are looking at a return of active aerodynamics, which means that the aerodynamic package throughout a lap can be changed, and it's basically going to be dynamic in the way that throughout a lap you can change the front wing levels and the rear wing levels, something that has not been there since 1993. So yeah, extensive to say the least.
I'm now going to talk about Audi Motorsports. What kind of impact will the entry of Audi in F1 have? This is a company that we all know has a legacy of winning across motorsport, and it's finally making its F1 bow. What do you make of it?
So when it comes to Audi, I think more than Audi making an impact on Formula One, it is basically, in essence, it is a validation of where Formula One is right now. So in 2026, we are going to have as many as 9 major automobile giants that are going to be part of the grid in some capacity, which is a number that was, to be honest, around 2010s, 2011s. This was a number that was unthought of. After the 2007 economic slowdown, global slowdown that we suffered, the recession, we saw a lot of key players leave the sport because of affordability to a large extent, and also the profitability of the sport. All these things, they played a role. So once that has been taken care of, now we are seeing a lot of these players come in. So Audi, one of the reasons that it is coming is, well, the major reason, it's the power unit that is going to be introduced. It's 50% hybrid. Now that is for a European car manufacturer. This is one of the areas where they are trying to work on and possibly gain a bit of thought leadership on that front. So that's why Audi was interested in coming to Formula One. The other reason is, with the introduction of cost cap in Formula One, now we are reaching a point where running a Formula One team has become a lot more sustainable. It's not a cash burning exercise anymore. So what you are going to see right now is even the team that is at the bottom, Haas F1 right now, it is worth $1.5 billion. You compare that with the highest value team in Formula One, which is Ferrari. It is worth $6.5 billion. So once you have these kind of valuations, when you're talking these numbers, it's basically it's a time to cash in Formula One. It's basically one of the you can say points where Formula One has started to become a more attractive proposition for a lot of companies, and Audi is one of them.
All right. Thanks, Charanjot, for joining me in this discussion. And with that, I'll let you go. And moving on, viewers, a leading European supporters group is urging FIFA to halt World Cup ticket sales, saying incomprehensible price hikes risk shutting ordinary fans out of the 2026 tournament. Leaked pricing tables show fans following their national team from the group stage to the final could pay at least $6,900, nearly 5 times more than in 2022. The group says loyal supporters are being asked to pay the full amount upfront just to secure the right to buy tickets through the final, while the lowest price category won't be available to them and will instead be subject to dynamic prices for the general public. They warn some final tickets may reach $4,000 and families could face up to $30,000, threatening the atmosphere that traveling fans bring. Now, the group is calling to FIFA to pause sales and consult supporters and national associations before moving ahead. Let's first listen in.
And this is where, again, at a time when the world is separating in many ways, FIFA has the chance to bring it together. But when it comes to ticket prices, this is when financially it distinctly separates. And that's where, sadly, with FIFA releasing the tickets and the ticketing levels, there is a high degree of financial discrimination that people are feeling because it's just inaccessible. And that's not the point of the games.
All right, thanks Tos for staying on with us. Tos, what do you think, or what do you make of this controversy, particularly regarding this complaint is only being made by fans in the US, with tickets in Mexico being fairly affordable?
US, UK, and European fans are very, very upset, and this is what I've been reading throughout. They are very upset. They have been, they think it's been unfair, unfair pricing coming up with the dynamic resale value that has been put up by the by FIFA. And obviously, it is going to affect the fans who are very much keen to watch their favorite team, favorite footballers, Messi's and Ronaldo's out there. I mean, this could be the last season, or maybe the last World Cup rather, playing for their countries in a mega event. So yeah, at the end, it's very, very difficult. The lady who was saying earlier that this was the right time when the world is divided. This was the time for FIFA to dole out tickets at a very affordable price, and where fans could come and enjoy from different countries, different cultures, different religions, different faith, come and enjoy together this particular sport, which is loved by one and all. And the reason why it's called a beautiful game, because the whole globe follows it keenly and religiously. So this was an opportunity which I guess FIFA is just cashing on the inflated price, or rather I would say they want to profit more rather than look after the fans. Fans kind of love for the game. So I think FIFA is being unfair completely when it comes to ticket pricing, which is going to affect a passionate fan.
And what do you think, how will this affect match attendance? Is it likely that fans may see empty stands, because reports are indicating that there is a very high demand for tickets despite the high prices?
The demand is high because there is an emotional connect. I mean, it won't be surprising if you see the stadiums being packed despite high prices, because there is a connect. You would see fans still buying those. I mean, fans who can't afford will definitely won't be able to make it to the stadium, but fans who are fans when there is kind of a trend, or when people are talking about it, or maybe people who are high on their FOMOs, fear of not missing out, they would be buying those tickets who can afford. So yeah, there could be an emotional connect with it. Then there is star power and quality football matches, which we may see that there could be huge attendance. But when it comes to smaller games, less quality matches, there are chances that stadiums might not fill up. Otherwise, if the ticket prices would be at a very affordable rate, even the slightly less competitive match or less quality match with less star power could have been filled. Could have filled the stadium. Otherwise, it's only the high quality matches that we are going to see. Stadiums being filled. So yeah, it's going to be a disappointing, very disappointing move, rather, I say, from FIFA if they continue with that particular move.
Now, FIFA has also announced an in-house reselling mechanism that has caused some controversy in itself. Now, with the federation charging a 30% fee for facilitating the resale of tickets. What's your opinion on that? Should there be a standardized reselling mechanism regulated by the host country?
No, the thing is that FIFA wants to benefit as much as it can. I mean, 30% is said, 15% to the seller. and for 15% they are going to charge 50% from the buyer, which means they wants to have their hands full. So yeah, FIFA is not keeping any standards when it comes to ticket pricing or selling. Rather, I would say unfortunate. But yeah, people who are going to benefit are the sellers more than, of course, they are into selling business. But it's more of a business rather than sport or rather than passion. So I think yeah, it's going to affect. FIFA may get the money what they desired. Sellers might get huge business, but the fans will be more the one who will be at major loss.
All right, thank you, Thos, for joining me here at NewsX World on this segment. And with that, viewers, we're now going to move on. Now, defending champion Levon Aronian has captured his second straight freestyle chess Grand Slam South Africa title, winning on Thursday after a strong performance across 4 undefeated days. The 43-year-old American secured the $200,000 prize by defeating world number 1 Magnus Carlsen 1-5, 1.5 to 0.5, taking the first game and holding a draw in the second to seal the match. Carlsen, who had already locked up the 2025 overall freestyle chess Grand Slam Tour title earlier this week, finished second in South Africa. In other results, Vincent Kiemer claimed third place with a 2-0 win over Habakir Sindarov. Now, additional placement match victories went to Fabiano Caruana in the 5th and Hans Niemann in the 7th. And now moving on to some news from Olympics. Snoop Dogg has been appointed Team USA's first ever honorary coach for the 2026 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games at Milano Cortina. The United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, which is USOPC, announced that Coach Snoop would join a staff on the team behind the team tasked with supporting athletes in Italy. It comes after the rapper and entrepreneur hit the headlines as Paris 2024 as Team USA's hype man and subsequent performance during the LA 2028 handover ceremony. Snoop Dogg's honorary role is a continuation of his championing of grassroots support through projects such as Snoop Youth Football League, which has supported 15,000 upcoming athletes with and without disabilities. And that's a wrap on this episode of the World of Sports. Catch you on the next one.